is False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who was farming getting it while I was getting engaged. Cody Williams, content director at fansided.com, holding down the fort for everybody else out there. Thank you so much, brother. How are you?
Doing good, man. Happy to do it. I did have a question there that you obviously weren't here on for week zero to ask. Did you ask her do Haas or do Haas? Like, is that how you proposed?
I had to repeat it like four times. That was the worst part about the engagement process. I'm out there, I'm getting rained on a dock, and I kept saying du hast mich.
Brother, no engagement I know of really ever goes smoothly. Like when I proposed to the NC State podcast, I we were on a hike and like I chose the hike because I knew her friends, like they had just got done with the conference and like, well, let's go do this hike. What I didn't like think about in that process, it was late April and we're hiking in the middle of northern Georgia. By the time we got to propose, I was sweating my ass off. And so like I feel like I have like just big back stains in my pictures.
Yeah, we're at my dad's house, obviously, and like the dock on Lake Oconee is probably about a good 50 feet that way.
Mm.
And I was trying to get everybody like, okay, do candid photos of this all. My best friend James figured out how to put the camera like on a light post so
Oh
to kind
hell
of
yeah.
capture everything. We kind of marked it where I was supposed to stand, but I missed the mark.
Oh, Big 12 energy. Let's go.
But it was like it's been rainy out here, basically like all day Friday, most of Saturday, and then like we're getting close up to like noon. I know my mom is coming. She's gonna come up and surprise the Arizona State podcast, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go. I'm like, hey, we need to see how many people can fit on this boat. So, and like, I was gonna like start my proposal based on like something she was wearing. She's like, hold on, I gotta get my rain jacket and my umbrella. I'm just like, this isn't gonna work. And then the other thing that was funny is I opened the ring box upside down.
Oh no. Hey, at least it didn't fall through the dock, man.
No, it's kind of more of like the fiberglass sort of thing
Yeah.
on top, as opposed to like the wooden slats. Like I checked, like
Yeah.
that would have sucked. That would have cost me
Yeah,
$7,000.
we don't want that. We don't want that at
Yeah,
all.
no, we don't. But we do want to do is celebrate love and celebrate college football today. Week zero happened yesterday. A lot of interesting games here. Kansas flexed on itself. Iowa State outlasted K-State, and then Stanford took that L versus Hawaii, like I said they would.
They did indeed. And UNLV struggled a little bit. I mentioned it yesterday. Not feeling so great about my Mountain West pick already, I'll tell you that much.
And who won the CUSA matchup?
The Keyside, Western Kentucky won that one.
Okay,
41-24, I think it was. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't realize UNLV struggled that much with Idaho State.
So it was one of those games where like everything went wrong for UNLV. Looking back at, I believe it was Bill Connolly posted this morning, but like UNLV had like an 88% winning, like percent chance of winning, and still only won by 8 points. Like it was just a weird game.
You know, when you bungle around with the Bengals, this sort of stuff happens.
True, it's true.
And obviously, well, we fall started because life happens. Cody knew I was doing it this weekend anyway,
That's
so
right.
we're gonna move on to our first and 15 today with playoffs. You kidding me? The last episode, I think, of our preview before we get to week one here for Thursday's show.
Yeah.
So we're going to reveal our 12-team playoffs, national championship picks, like who wins each conference, like where do we get from there? And y'all might have seen one of mine on fansided.com over the part of the weekend, so that's out there, but be able to rehash it. I have no idea what Cody's going to do other than the fact that Tulane is winning the group of five for him, and I've got
That's
Boise
right.
State. So
That's right.
let's get this cracking. Let's start with let's work through our conference championship
Yeah.
games. That's probably the best way to say it. So, like I said, you've got Tulane beating you have Tulane beating Navy in the American.
Tulane. I thought it was Tulane beating Boise. Or no, not Boise. Not Navy. Who did I have? UTSA. UTSA.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I've got Boise beating UNLV. So that's our
Yeah.
group of five champions. ACC, where are you with this?
I've got Clemson over Louisville. Big on Clemson, obviously this year, and really the question for me was who are they going to beat in Charlotte? And I feel like I have a lot more faith in Jeff Brom and Louisville and what they did last year than I do any other team in the ACC. Like, I'm not sure what the ceiling is with Georgia Tech. I don't trust Miami at all. And so, like, you really kind of, SMU, I think, does regress a little bit. And so when I came down to it, I have more faith in Louisville to get there than anyone else.
I have Clemson over SMU. Still
Okay.
very high on the ponies here. I think it's interesting. Like I was super high on Louisville in the start of the
Yeah.
offseason, and you were super high on SMU, and it's kind of flipped. And I think it's interesting that neither of us have Miami here.
hmm
And even though we do believe Georgia Tech and Duke could be very good, we think the ceiling's probably a little bit limited. So it kind
Yeah.
of feels like Miami, Louisville, and SMU are probably your most likely candidates to get to Charlotte and lose to Clemson.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think we're both just like with Miami, I think we're at a point where we need to see it, man. Like
Yeah.
we have not seen it under Mario. Like the talent's been there and it's just it hasn't materialized yet.
No, it's Mario Elias. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
All right, let's move over to Big Ten country. Who do you have coming out of that league?
I've got Penn State getting revenge over a regular season loss against Ohio State. I think that Ohio State gets them in the regular season. Penn State still makes it to Indianapolis despite that, and they get their revenge, and James Franklin wins a big one.
I have the same two teams. I have it flipped. I have Ohio State continuing being
Yeah,
undefeated, beating Penn State in the regular season, and beating Penn State in Indianapolis. But like I have them both in there. We'll probably talk about Oregon here in a little bit, but like
yeah.
I, I think it's interesting for this. It's like it feels like it's Ohio State, Penn State. Like we're almost like feel like we're guaranteed to get a matchup, which means we probably won't.
We probably won't. If neither of these teams made it, it would not surprise me at this point.
The Big 12. This you probably know where I'm leaning, but I'm curious to see where you are going.
I'm leaning with our boy Kenny Dillingham. I got Arizona State winning the Big 12 over Utah. And I don't feel great about the Utah pick. I feel more confident in the Arizona State pick. As I've mentioned, I truly don't know what the hell is going to happen in the Big 12 at this point, but what the hell? Utah's fun, so let's have fun while we're rooting to be right.
I have the same outcome. So I've got Arizona State over Utah, and we'll just say Utah is like going to be it's going to be very interesting how they possibly fit into this playoff field for me.
It's gonna be like doing some amphetamines. Like that's what Utah's gonna be like watching this year.
You're gonna be looking for Joshua Tree.
That's right.
Beulah, you're in Georgia. I'm looking for Joshua Tree.
Big Antonio energy.
Out here around Lake Oconee, there are streets with no names. It's like Country Road 117.
Love that.
And then the SEC. You go first.
Unfortunately, I have Texas over Georgia, but very similar to the Big Ten. I think Georgia gets them in the regular season, and I think that Texas gets their revenge.
Yeah, I have the same feeling there. Georgia uh, beats Texas in Atlanta in Athens. I think Texas gets the best of Georgia in Atlanta. It's just hard for me to see Georgia beating Texas 4 times in a row.
Yeah, 100%. Like Texas is just they're good. Like that's just what it comes down to, and it's hard to beat a really good team that many times in a row.
All right, so we got our four Power Four champions. Cody and I both have Clemson out of the ACC. We both have Texas out of the SEC, Arizona State out of the Big 12. He has Penn State out of the Big 10, and I have Ohio State out of the Big 10.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's work our way down with our first round buys. Who's number one seed for you?
Number one seed, I've got Clemson. I think Clemson runs the table. I think they are 13-0 coming out of Charlotte, man. The more I look at the ACC, the more I just don't see a team that can hang with them. I think they're going to be better than LSU at the beginning of the season. I think that's what happens at the end of the season, we'll see. But like if it were to happen at the end of the season, but I think early on, like Clemson just has so much more continuity than LSU. Like I think that's a big advantage for the Tigers.
Clemson's in my bracket. It's not up there yet, but I will touch on Clemson here shortly. Number one, I've got 13-0 Ohio State.
Okay, so
Just like,
I'll go ahead and let you know, Clemson is the only undefeated team that I'm projecting currently.
hell yeah. I've got I got what, two, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, who's your number two seed?
Number two, I have Penn State. I think that we're going to see Penn State and Ohio State very closely ranked in the penultimate college football playoff rankings before we go into conference championship weekend. And obviously, if I have Penn State beating Ohio State, that's going to put the Nittany Lions at number two.
I can dig that. That makes sense. Like, you win the Big Ten, you beat Ohio State, you get the revenge game there. Like, you're probably going to be a top two or one seed depending on is undefeated. So
Correct.
my other undefeated team at this point is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Lou
Mm.
Holtz is just slobbering all over himself.
Always, always.
I think they go 12-0. I think there's a little more chaos in the other Power Four leagues at this
Yeah,
point.
definitely fair. I have Notre Dame at 3, so that works right there. I have Notre Dame dropping 1. I haven't decided which one. I don't know if it's going to be the Miami game to open the season because they are, breaking in a first-time starter at quarterback, so maybe that, does cause some problems. Or you have the Texas A&M game soon after that, so maybe that could happen there. But I think they drop 1, but I think that there's enough chaos that they still end up with a top 4 seed.
I respect that. And so this is where mine gets weird. At number 3, I've got SEC runner-up Georgia at 12-1.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Because you only lose to Texas. I mean, you split, you beat like Ole Miss, Bama, everybody else on your schedule. Like, because I think Texas has suffers a few losses this year, but
Mhm.
like still good enough to make it in for me.
Okay. So I have Texas at number 4.
As
And
as as do I.
Yeah, okay. So it makes perfect sense why you would have them there for, especially like I think your scenario is not implausible. I think Georgia probably does drop 1 along the way. And so that gives us a matchup of one-loss teams in the SEC. So that gives Texas a slight advantage there. Like it starts off in week 1, honestly. Like I have Texas beating Ohio State, and I believe you have Ohio State beating Texas. So
Yes.
like that's a very big game. And like if Texas starts off on that foot when they're already like the number 1 in the AP top 25, it's going to be really hard to like fall too far back from that, even if you drop a game along the way.
Yeah, like yeah, that's really the big difference here. We kind
Yeah,
of see Texas's path at this point being relatively the same.
yeah, 100%.
All right, who do you get at 5?
At 5, I have Georgia, not far behind. Like I said, I
Okay.
think they drop a regular season game and they lose the rematch to Texas, but I don't think the committee's going to penalize them too terribly for that. It's not going to be a bad loss. Georgia's too talented of a defense, quite frankly, and too talented of a roster, I think, to suffer a bad loss. So yeah, I like Georgia there at 5, getting the top non-bye seed.
Where do you think the loss is coming from if you had to pick a game? Is it Bama, maybe? Ole Miss?
I could see, yeah,
Florida?
I would go Ole Miss. I'm looking
Okay.
at Ole Miss just because, like, I understand what happened last year. I understand that, but it feels like it depends. We'll touch on this later, but like I'm still not sure what the ceiling is for Gunnar Stockton. And
Right.
like if this Ole Miss offense clicks to the level that it can, even against a defense like Georgia, they might put up a number that Gunnar Stockton might not be able to get to.
And I think that's fair. I think like, last year that game was played in the elements there in
Yeah,
Oxford and Ole Miss just played tighter football, was kind of which leads me to believe that Ole Miss is going to have a very good season this year.
exactly.
At number 5, the recently engaged man has the Arizona State podcast. The Sun Devils at number 5. I've got them going 12-1. Their only loss this year is during the regular season to Utah, who they avenge in Arlington.
Okay, nice, nice. I have Arizona State a little bit lower because
Okay, that's fair.
as previously stated, I think the Big 12 is going to be chaotic as hell. So
Okay, so and then 6 is where I've got Clemson, and I've got them at 11-2. I think I got them. They beat LSU. I think they lose to South Carolina. I think I have them losing to Duke too, or something like that. But
nice.
like, you're gonna be able to get some quality wins over LSU. You play a bunch of people in there too. I think getting a win over. I think you beat SMU twice. Like that
Yeah.
works out pretty good for them as well. So yeah, Clemson's at 6. Then after that, my bracket just fell apart.
So I'm not in a dissimilar boat. I have Ohio State at 6, which I felt pretty confident in. Like the top 6 were pretty easy for me to like parse out. After that, the bottom 6 were a little bit more chaotic. Well, I take that back. Tulane was pretty easy to parse out at the 12 seed. Go ahead and spoil that
Yeah.
for you. But no, I have Ohio State. Obviously, I have them losing the opener to Texas. I think they run the table in the Big Ten in the regular season, but then losing Indianapolis. So 2 losses. You're kind of splitting hairs between them and Georgia. And I think, like one of them is going to be the 5, one of them is going to be the 6. Doesn't totally matter.
Okay, that makes sense. You get a first round bye. So yeah, 7 through 11 was so difficult for me. I did not expect to have it be this challenging.
Yeah.
At 7, I have the South Carolina Gamecocks at 10 and
Hell yeah,
2.
brother. Hell yeah. You're higher on them than me, but another spoiler, I do have South Carolina in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I was basically looking at 5 teams for like the last 6 spots because I've got Boise State at 12,
mhm.
and I went through this like so many different ways. But for me, South Carolina, you've got your two losses, I have them losing to Ole Miss and A&M, but you beat Clemson, you beat LSU, you beat Alabama, and I think that gets them in pretty good.
Yeah, so I have LSU at number 7. And when I look at this, like I think they lose the opener to Clemson, and I think that there's a chance that they probably lose one of, and I'm not sure which one of the Florida, Ole Miss, or South Carolina games. I don't know which one, but one of those games I think they drop. And then I think that they could lose the Alabama game. So there's a chance that they're a 9-win team. But like if you run the table on the rest of the schedule with wins over Texas A&M, two of the three that I mentioned there, like you're probably still going to be a college football playoff team.
I do not have LSU making the field. I have them among their first four out because I have them going 9-3.
Okay. And that's completely fair, I think. But I like the more I look at this schedule, the more I think LSU has a real chance to be the first 9-win team in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I think I mean, I have them beating Ole Miss, but I don't have them beating Clemson. So
Yeah.
then it gets just wonky there. All right, 8. 8 is where I have Penn State. Penn State is 10-3. This frustrated me to no end. So I have them losing to Iowa in the regular season.
Oh,
I have them losing to Ohio State in the regular season, and then losing to Ohio State twice.
okay.
And then, but they've got quality wins over Oregon and Indiana. So
Right.
like, I don't know. That was the one I'm like, how do I even rank this? But I think that like the talent's there. You'll have some quality wins there, but maybe how we viewed almost kind of how I felt like I viewed Oregon until the very end last year. Like, I'm not sure you're going to do it.
Right. 100%. And I think that makes a lot of sense with Penn State. And I'll touch more on Penn State. Like I obviously have them highly seated, but I like they're not without questions. They're not without flaws. At 8 is where I have Arizona State. I think that they are the most likely candidate to truly separate themselves in the Big 12. And I think that they do so to the point where the committee kind of throws them a bone and gives them a home game. Like that's kind of where I came down on Arizona State. Like I toiled real hard between the 9 and 8 seed for them, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to reward a conference champion who's in that conversation. I think you're going to reward them a little more with a home game.
So they're like an 11-2 team for you, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think that's totally fair. 9 for me. I got the Ole Miss Rebels.
Dude, I also have them at the 9 seed. So let's go.
Okay, so I've got them going 10-2. Your two big wins of note are over South Carolina and Florida, but you lose to Georgia and LSU.
Hey, don't forget Tulane. Don't forget Tulane.
You have a big win over Tulane as well too. So I was just kind of going like I don't know how I figured all of that out because I didn't do like Tulane's schedule all the way out. I just did like
Yeah,
did you beat somebody who had 9 wins or more?
right,
Is how I
exactly.
figured that. But yeah. Yeah, I've got Ole Miss in there pretty comfortably, and I feel Ole Miss and South Carolina. I think you and I are just way higher on them as well. So with Winston Wilcox, we both had. I think all three of us had South Carolina in the playoff field.
Yep, yep. We haven't gotten there yet, but they do sneak in.
Okay, okay. All right, 10.
10, I have the Indiana Hoosiers, which I've convinced myself. I think they're gonna knock off Oregon, man. And I think that they are flirting with a Big Ten championship, but I don't think they quite get there. I think that I think they're gonna lose enough games to be able to like not make it. But man, I think that this is a better Indiana team than what we saw last year. And the schedule is not like substantially more difficult. Like, yes, you have a few more tougher road games, but like the meat and potatoes of it is really not that difficult. And I think this team is better than it was a year ago.
I've got Indiana as my fourth team out at 9-3. I've got them getting the big win over Illinois. Like if Illinois would have gotten that, Illinois makes the playoff. Like
Yeah,
it's so evenly matched, but I think very highly of Indiana coming in.
100%.
All right, I may have put words in your mouth, whatever. Okay, 10 for me. You said you're 10, right?
Yeah, 10 was Indiana. Yeah.
Okay, 10 for me is SMU.
Hell yeah.
11-2. Their only two losses are to Clemson twice, but they get wins over Miami, Baylor, and Louisville.
Love that. Love that. And I mean, like, I can't believe you're higher on SMU than me personally. But uh I'm willing to be proven wrong in the ACC. I don't see it. I think it's just Clemson and then the have-nots is really what it comes down to.
All right, and our last team, man, this is going to be wild.
This is South Carolina for me.
Okay, thank God.
I do have South Carolina in here. The more I look at the schedule, I'm worried. like I am absolutely worried about what the South Carolina team is going to be able to do, but I do think that they're talented enough to be able to get it done. Like you're going to get a win over Virginia Tech in the first week of the season. We're very low on the Hokies this year. You get into the SEC schedule though, man, you got to go on the road to LSU, play Oklahoma at home, play Alabama at home, then go on the road to play Ole Miss, then go on the road to play Texas A&M. You're gonna drop a few of those games. Like
Yeah.
you're not running the table through that gauntlet. And
No.
so when I look at that, like I think they take enough losses, but also like as the season comes around and they finish strong, I think that they give Clemson a game. Like even as a 9-3 team, I still think South Carolina can absolutely get in with the schedule they have because it's brutal.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And 11, I got a team that I don't think you have making it. I have the Oregon Ducks at 11.
No, no, no ducks. Ducks don't float around here, brother.
I got them going 10 and 2. They've got wins over Indiana and Iowa, but their two losses, which we both said, like Penn State and Washington, feel like pretty probable losses. And
Yeah,
that was the thing I was looking at. Oregon and Penn State, like there's a way where it can turn on them very quickly.
right. And I mean, I also have Oregon at 9-3 and also have Indiana at 9-3, but I have Indiana getting the win over Oregon. So like when I look at it that way, if you're picking between those two spots, also this goes back to my theory. I don't have a lot of great teams in college football this year. I think we're about to see a lot of hell raised throughout every power conference, quite frankly. And so when that's the case, you're splitting hairs and like having a head-to-head matchup. I think they clip Oregon. I just don't have faith in Dante Moore. I'm not there.
Dan Lanning is going to be really angry that day,
It's true.
every
Yeah,
day. And
100%. He might go get another tap for all we know.
it's a pain management, I
That's right.
suppose.
That's right.
All right, so let's share our first four buys and let's get into the first round.
Yeah. So first four buys, I have Clemson at 1, Penn State at 2, Notre Dame at 3, and Texas at 4.
Wonderful. I've got Ohio State at 1, Notre Dame at 2, Georgia at 3, and Texas at 4.
Yes, sir. All right.
5-12.
So that's Tulane visiting Athens. Not gonna spend too much oxygen on this. Georgia's gonna win that one pretty comfortably.
I would hope so. I've got at my 5-12, I've got Boise State coming to the Valley of the Sun to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. And yeah, forks up, brother.
Oh yeah, fork them up, baby.
All right. 6 versus 11.
Dude, let's get excited. I got South Carolina going to the shoe to play Ohio State.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah, that's a hell of a game. I do have Ohio State getting it done though, unfortunately.
And a game that's going to be really loud and obnoxious. I've got the number 11 Oregon Ducks going to Death Valley to face Clemson. And
Mm,
Dabo is just going to show that he's a better coach than Dan Lanning
yeah, he is,
right now.
unfortunately.
7-10.
I've got Indiana going to the other Death Valley to play LSU.
Yes.
Sorry to the Hoosiers. I'm giving you a lot of love putting you in my playoff field, but I don't think it really extends past Death Valley.
I don't think so either. The Jared DiNardo Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, 7-10. I've got SMU going to Williams-Brice to take on South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And LaNorris Sellers, he does some things that Kevin Jenkins can't do.
Yeah. Like, winning the playoff, these sorts of things. 9-8, I have Ole Miss going to the Valley of the Sun to play Arizona State. Don't tell your newly anointed fiance, but I have Ole Miss getting this one done.
I think that's fair. I've got Ole Miss going to Happy Valley to take on Penn State, and because Ole Miss is ranked below Penn State, Penn State's going to win.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
All right, so how the hell do we do this? Okay, so what's your number one seed?
Number 1 seed is Clemson taking
Which means
on Ole Miss.
in the Orange Bowl.
Okay, yeah. Bueller is my guiding light during this because my brain can't compute these things. I'm terrible at it, and so I just have the matchups and not the bowl. But yeah, I have Clemson versus Ole Miss in the Orange Bowl. I have Clemson winning that pretty decisively, quite frankly.
Yeah. I because it's Maine, it's funny. I've got the number one seeded Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions for the third time this year in the Rose Bowl. Penn State's gonna have to shut down this program because it's not winning that game either.
I mean, if they lose the Big Ten championship, like the mental gymnastics we're gonna have to do are gonna be wild for the old Nittany Lions.
I mean, this is not going to be the matchup that happens, but why not? Who
Hey,
cares?
hey, never rule anything out.
All right. Who's your two seed?
There I have Penn State.
Okay. Do you have Penn State there? You've already done so that's going to be your Rose Bowl.
Okay. So I've got Penn State, LSU in the Rose Bowl. Sick Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Um, I also have the buck stopping here for Penn State. I think so. One of my takes that I'm developing with LSU, I think this team looks completely different by week 13 than it does week 1 against Clemson. I think that when you have so much talent coming in the transfer portal on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to take a little bit to reach its peak capacity, but I do have a lot of trust in Blake Baker. Like we did see improvement from that group. They just didn't have the dudes. And now they have the dudes, and it's all about getting them to coalesce. And I think by the end of the season, we see them coalesce. And frankly, I just think that they like who are you taking in a battle between two teams? Are you taking the Drew Aller led offense, or are you taking the Garrett Nussmeier led offense?
Fair
I'm taking
point.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah. I love that. That's a filthy Rose Bowl. I love that.
Yeah.
So my number two is going to be the Orange Bowl between Notre Dame and South Carolina, the Lou Holtz Bowl.
Hell yes.
And LaNorris Sellers is going to be running it. It's going to blow Lou Holtz's mind. So I've got South Carolina going to the semis.
Hell yes, brother. Love to see it. Love to see it.
All right, and then your three is what? Three
Notre
is
Dame.
okay. Notre Dame. Uh, they're going to the Sugar Bowl.
Hell yeah. That's what I was thinking. I've got Notre Dame versus Ohio State. I think Marcus Freeman gets them, dude. I think Notre Dame gets it done in this game. Um, we'll touch on it later in questions. I have a very specific reason for thinking this, and it's actually not the quarterback play. But we'll get there in a little bit. But I have Notre Dame winning this game.
I could dig that, even though I just picked him to lose, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's fine. It's fine.
The Sugar Bowl for me is Southeastern rivals, number three Georgia versus Clemson, and go Dogs.
Hell yeah. Love that. Um, I have Texas and Georgia meeting again.
Yes.
One more time.
And that's going to be in the Longhorns' backyard in the Cotton Bowl.
And I'm gonna give Texas the edge again. I think that once they get over, I think honestly, like I'm looking at this season a lot for Steve Sarkisian in some ways, not all the way through the end, but in some ways, like kind of the journey that Kirby Smart went on. Like you kind of got to get over that last hump, which happened to be Alabama there for a little while. And like once you get over that hump, then there's no stopping you. And so like once they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, which is what I have, I think they're able to do it again.
They might be able to do it again. I don't know if they're going to meet Georgia again, but I'll
Yeah,
respect your take there. And I've got a rematch of the Peach Bowl and the Cotton Bowl with number four Texas versus number five Arizona State, and it's going to be the exact same, except I'm not going to be there. So I got Texas winning that game.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right, so who are your four teams you have left?
So I have number 1 Clemson versus number 4 Texas, and I have number 3 Notre Dame versus number 7 LSU.
Okay, number one Clemson. That they're going to be in the Peach Bowl.
Hell yeah. A lot of orange in this game. Orange is a terrible color. Don't like it at all. So not my favorite game. Like I said, I think Sark gets over one hump. I don't think he gets over this one. I still think Clemson is the better coach team, and I think that they're the more experienced team, and I think it just shows, especially with a little bit of a home field advantage as well.
I think that's fair. A lot of orange. A
Yeah, a
lot of
lot of
orange.
orange, man. A lot of orange.
All right. I've got number one Ohio State versus number four Texas in the Fiesta Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Ryan Day is he's going to basically go to Sark and go, "You're a baby." So I got Ohio State winning that game.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
All right, and then that would be now your Fiesta Bowl is your three versus seven, and that's my Peach Bowl. So what's your Fiesta Bowl?
So Notre Dame, LSU in the Fiesta Bowl. Again, I'm really high on this LSU team and what they're capable of. I've got LSU going to the national championship game and beating Notre Dame.
A rematch of week one. I love it.
That's right. We're getting back to it.
The Peach Bowl for me, border war of sorts with two SEC rivals that hit each other. Number three Georgia versus number seven South Carolina. I think the buck stops here for the Gamecocks, and Georgia goes on to the national championship.
Love that. Yeah. So I've got a rematch in the national championship game of week
Hmm.
one, but also of the 2019 season as well. Dabo gets his revenge. I've got Clemson as my national champion. I hate every bit of it. Don't like, that's the thing I need everyone who is listening to this podcast to know. I don't like Clemson. I am a North Carolina fan. It is bred in me to not like Clemson. But damn it, I think this team is really good. And I think that they have, again, I think the experience factor, I think that the just the pro level potential that they have all over on every side of the ball, like I think it's just too much for LSU to handle.
Love that. I think that that's fair because I think you've got them beating LSU to start the season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I think they
Yeah,
just assert dominance again.
yeah, they're going to be filthy in the trenches for sure. So I've done like four or five of these, like based on like different rankings, and I usually end up with one of two teams winning a national championship. But this is the one where it ends up working out for me, my favorite. I can't believe it. I've got Georgia winning the national
Let's
championship
go.
here.
Hell yeah.
And this is the only reason besides like the only reasons this is happening is because no, Ohio State goes undefeated and doesn't have any adversity, whereas Georgia's got the Texas loss,
Mhm.
and I think that that propels them a little bit. And I also think that there's just a coaching advantage with Kirby Smart over Ryan Day, so it's going to be like it'll be like the Peach Bowl of a couple of years ago. Maybe not the
Yeah,
same outcome, but like very close. Like I went back and forth, but like if I've got Georgia here, like I might as well just pick them. Who cares?
absolutely, dude. 100%. I don't blame you a damn bit. And I mean, like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I feel foolish picking a national champion this year because I feel like it's going to be wrong. So why not go with your heart and your gut?
Yeah, like I mean, I pretty much every time I do this, it's either Ohio State or Texas. And
Yeah,
I've gotten like one example where it's Georgia and one where it's Clemson. And
hell yeah.
I have not gotten there with Penn State yet, which is kind of strange.
I mean, it kind of says a lot about Penn State, quite frankly.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. I mean, I can't believe that we were able to accomplish all of that in only 30 minutes. It's
Dude, I
great.
know. We went through that way quicker than I thought we were going to.
I
So,
know. Got to take a breather here. Let's come to you live from Eric Crouch's couch.
no better place to take a breather.
No. Our three-man Heisman Trophy ballots. We do not, or you're not Heisman voters. If we were, we could not disclose this. But if we had a vote, this is who would be on our ballot. We can only put three people. How? Let's start with this. You want to go one, two, three, or three, two, one?
Let's go 3-2-1. Let's
Okay.
go 3-2-1. Yeah. I'll start with three. Obviously, I think LSU does some things, and I think Garrett Nussmeier is a big damn part of that. I think Garrett Nussmeier puts up some video game type numbers as a passer this year. And if LSU has the success that I think they're capable of, and like also when you look at their losses, it's not going to be because the offense didn't score. It's going to be because of defensive inconsistency. And so I think Garrett Nussmeier is able to definitely get an invite to New York.
I think that's totally fair. Brian Kelly back in the Big Apple.
That's right. That's right.
And I've got the star running back for his former team. I've got Notre Dame running
Mm.
back Jeremiyah Love going in there. I think he's going to be the best running back in college football this year. I think he might. I'll talk about him here in a second, but I think Jeremiah Love is going to win the Doak Walker going away.
If we had four votes on a Heisman ballot, Jeremiah Love would have been four. I toiled between him and Garrett Nussmeier for sure.
I think Nussmeier would be like four or five for me, but
Yeah,
he'd be a consideration. Number two, who do you have for two?
we got the goggled king, baby. LaNorris Sellers. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, that's.
I don't need to say anymore. We've talked all offseason about him.
I think that's totally fair. I mean, I'm kind of almost right there with you. I've got another Jeremiah. I've got Jeremiah Smith at number two.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think he wins the Blitnikoff and a bunch of other stuff. He's just outstanding. Like he tries to turn pro after the series, they won't let him do it.
He's unbelievable.
All right. So you know what my Heisman winner is. I've got the goggled king LaNorris Sellers.
Love that. Absolutely love it. I mean, could not be more thrilled about it. Um, Mine brings me no joy to pick another quarterback from the state of South Carolina, Cade Klubnik. I think he
Yeah.
does it, man. The more I look at it, the more I look at this Clemson team and all the parts are there. Like everything is the right. Like we saw the progression from Klubnik last year. We saw the progression from Garrett Riley last year. They have wide receiver talent they haven't had in a half decade. They have a defense that half of it could start in the NFL tomorrow. Like I look at all of these pieces and I'm just like, I don't know where this doesn't work, quite frankly.
I mean, I had Klubnik at four, so
Yeah,
that's what I've had him there. I think it's all about team's really good. There needs to be a game or two where he takes over. I've yet to see him do that, and
that's fair.
if he does that, he'll be the number one pick. And he'll go play for the Saints.
Yeah, 100%, which God bless him if that's the case. But you know.
So if we go back a year ago, I don't remember if you remember who your pick was. Mine was Dylan Gabriel. I've had Dalen Gabriel winning the Heisman, and I think he still got there. So that was pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I truly do not remember who my pick was.
I mean, I don't think we had Genty getting there, and I don't think
Definitely
we
not.
had Cam Ward getting there. I don't think we had, maybe you were high in Travis Hunter, but I don't think he had him winning it.
No, I definitely didn't have him winning it. I'm trying to look at 2024 odds because like I obviously do a lot of this based on odds. That's the last odds before the Heisman bit. I truly couldn't tell you. Um,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't,
I might have had Nussmeier, quite frankly. That doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility for how I talk about college football.
that, I think that makes sense because like you were high on Beck and Ewers, but not, I don't think you had them pegged to win it either.
No, no, no,
No. So I think with this, it just says like having a three-person ballot is so hard because
yeah,
like you want to put more people on there. Like I didn't even mention Kevin Jennings, who I think has had a great year too.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of guys that like I didn't have Jeremiyah Smith on my ballot. He's probably the best player in college football, and I didn't have him on my ballot. Says somewhat of what I think about Ohio State, and we'll get there. But yeah, like we're that's the thing with preseason prediction shows, man. We're gonna look silly. It's gonna happen. We know it will.
I want to see Jeremiah Smith go play for his cousin's team, catching passes from cousin Chino. That'd be
Dude, that'd be
amazing.
sick. That'd be absolutely sick.
Dude, he'd be like the best receiver they've had since like Tim Brown. It'd be
Oh,
unbelievable.
100 I mean, they did have Randy Moss. He just wasn't very good with them. So like, but like in terms of like best receiver, like Randy Moss was there for a second.
Straight cash on me.
That's right.
Jay Rice played for them too, but it's Tim Brown's the guy that and Blitnikoff.
That's right. That's right.
Fred Blitnikoff with a helmet, like it just
Zero protection. That's what Aaron Rodgers is still trying to play with.
the all-time vibes curators of like NFL history. It's Fred Blitnikoff, Ken Stabler, and Ken Anderson.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure it's good vibes, but they're vibes curators for sure.
They all play for the Raiders and Bengals. It doesn't
Oh
matter.
yeah.
All right, that was great. That was great. Excuse me.
You're good,
And
man.
like Jeremiah Smith, he gone eventually.
Yes, sir.
Power four head coaches, coordinators that we think could be on the move. I've got five.
I also have five. I mean, there's more you could add to this list. I would venture to guess our list is probably a little bit different, and not
Yeah,
just in terms of ranking, because like I ranked mine 5-1, but like there's a lot of good coaches in college football. No, we're not reinventing the wheel by saying that. At five, I've got PJ Fleck though, and I think it's not necessarily a situation where he's trying to leave Minnesota. I think he potentially gets a Godfather offer. I think Minnesota is going to be a good football team once again this season. Like I think they're going to cause some problems in the Big Ten. I think you could see them pick off a couple of the heavy hitters in the Big Ten this year. And when I look at what Minnesota is capable of, and I look at the consistency that PJ Fleck has built there, I can see a bigger program. Like I can see PJ Fleck at an Auburn. Auburn would make a hell of a lot of sense to like hire someone like PJ Fleck who just like has no real controversy, has his ducks in a row, and knows how to row the boat. Like that's I think I could see PJ Fleck just being getting an offer he can't refuse to go to greener pastures.
he's gets the Gus Malzahn sweater vest.
Yeah,
Just goes
exactly.
the.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like you can see it clear as day.
I've always thought Michigan for him, but like, yeah, I think that there's opportunities beyond the Twin Cities. Also, shout out to Max Brosmer getting the backup job in
Dude,
Minnesota.
absolutely, man. I mean, at the expense of my boy Sam Howell, but I'm a man enough to admit that Sam Howell's not very good.
Yeah.
So, shouts to Max Brosmer.
I'm pretty sure Brosmer grew up around Atlanta. I think he played at Roswell, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
mean, dude, he's had a hell of a journey. Roswell, Georgia to New Hampshire, I believe it was, right? And then to Minnesota. So yeah, and staying in Minnesota. We love to see it.
We love to see
Finally
it.
found home.
I know. Let's go crazy with Prince.
That's right.
At number five for me, I've got Clemson defensive coordinator Tom Allen. This
Mhm.
is I was like kind of stopped. I was kind of shocked that like he was even at Penn State. I'm like, he should be a head coach again. I think he'll be the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats next year
Ooh, I like that a lot. That would make a lot of sense.
because he actually like recruits. The
Yeah.
problem is he does no offense at all, and I think he'll be able to find somebody maybe on the Clemson staff, maybe somebody on the Penn State staff, and who he can bring in to a place. And then you see they got to get the resources money there. I think when he was in Indiana, they They gave a bunch of money after he left. They gave a bunch of money to leave, and then they
Yeah,
gave.
right. 100%. And he was like, y'all been sitting on this the whole time. What the hell, man?
How I feel about Tom Allen's how I felt about Dan Quinn with your Cowboys. It's like he should have been head coach after one season. Like,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure. He's overqualified as a DC for sure.
hell yeah. Who you got it for?
At four, I've got Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks. I think Tennessee is still they're not going to be irrelevant this season. They're going to make a bowl game, I think, pretty comfortably. 7, 8 wins isn't out of the question. I just don't think the ceiling's there but like that's because of the offense. Like I don't think Joey Aguilar is that good of a quarterback, quite frankly. I think we probably see one of the young kids starting before the season's over just to get them reps because the offense just isn't clicking. I still think this defense is going to be damn good. And I think Tim Banks is a damn good coordinator to turn a unit that was a legitimate weakness not long ago for the Volunteers into a strength. Like I think he's going to get a job. I don't know where, but I think he's going to be a hot commodity.
It kind of feels like Mike Elko, like it's gonna work.
Yes, exactly. Mike Oker's a
Yeah.
very good comp.
I think Banks's career trajectory is like a little bit like he's gonna get the opportunities that Elko got a little bit sooner, but like those are coming. I'm like Maryland would hire him or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like overcorrect from the Loxley hire and go full defense.
Turtle up, turtle
That's
power.
right.
They're just like me at 5 years old at Universal, just doing just dancing. Mostly my legs just swinging around like
That's
this.
right.
I'm not gonna say that. At number four, I've got a Georgia Tech offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner.
Yeah, I just left him off my list just because I don't know if he leaves, but I would hire him. I'll tell you that right now.
I think he goes somewhere like Northwestern if it doesn't
Mm.
work for David Braun. He's been a lot of different places. Like if Ryan Silverfield were to get a better job, he could go to Memphis and take over there, something like that.
Yeah, I like that. I think that would make sense.
All right, three.
Obviously, high on Texas this year. I got defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski, which I think I said right.
Yeah.
I can do the Polish names apparently, but but no,
Kwiatkowski, Zinke, you can do it. You're
yeah,
good.
100%. Kodal Nicky, we're ready to rock. But like you look at this Texas defense and like I think I truly don't know what this Texas offense is going to look like. But I have enough confidence in their defense to say that they're comfortably making the playoff and in my opinion winning the SEC. So like I look at that, that's going to be on the back of the defense and like you look at the pieces that are in there, how he's had to maneuver losing talent and like replenishing that and like figuring that out, developing guys like Colin Simmons, developing some of the players that he has. I think that he's going to be deserving of a shot. And like, frankly, I think he's taking basically the Glenn Schumann spot in this. Like Glenn Schumann, we've talked about, like, we don't know if we see the head coaching bona fides necessarily with Glenn Schumann. I think that kind of spotlight for defensive coordinators in the SEC is going to switch over to Kwiatkowski.
Yeah, for sure. Kwiatkowski, like, I didn't put him on here because like spelling and pronouncing his name
Yeah,
up there.
100%.
But the thing I'm the most confident about Texas is their defense and Pete Quick. That's
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I could see him coaching at like Arizona.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
That'd be dope. And I got a guy who's in Arizona at number three. I've got Arizona State offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo.
Yeah, like that. Like that.
If there's like a Texas-based school, like we mentioned before, like if U of A doesn't work under Brent Brennan, they could hire him. I think he's got Big 12 in his future right here and leaves a Big 12 power for another. Like I'm trying to think, maybe not Cincinnati, trying to think who else could potentially open up. Like, okay, if it doesn't work for Mike Gundy, he goes to Oklahoma State.
Would love that. Would love that. I did not have Marcus Arroyo on here just because I think, at least in my opinion, I think it's more likely he gets a G5 job, is there very shortly, and then makes a stop at the P4.
Yeah, like he could replace Summerall basically
Yeah,
too late.
something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Number two.
It's our boy Will Stein. Win his money. Win Will Stein's money out up there in Oregon. I I didn't feel great putting him at two, but it's hard to deny that the star has been on the rise. Like he was someone that we frankly probably would have thought about hiring last offseason. I'm not sure what this Oregon offense looks like, but if it is competent with everything new that they're having to break in, I do want like it's going to be really hard to not look at Will Stein as one of the hottest head coaching candidates in the country.
And I have him at number one, and I'll share
Okay.
my number two in a second. With Bill Stein at one, I'm like, yeah, Louisville alma mater is not an option. He's like our peer in his mid 30s. So like I think something in the Mid-Atlantic could open up, and
Yeah,
whether that would be Maryland or Virginia Tech, and he would just take it over and be really good.
100%. Yeah, get any of those programs in the direction that they frankly should be going.
Yes. And at number two, I've got, hurry on, my boys, let's go, boys, Gus Malzahn.
I do not have the Gus bus here.
I don't really know if Florida State's going to be good. I think him and Thomas Castellanos will vibe. They'll probably win about 6, 7, 8 games.
Yeah,
But it's not going to work for Sam Pittman in Arkansas, and they're going to hire him.
I like that. That does make
Yeah,
sense. I probably should have remembered that and put him on here.
that's fine.
But I have another match made in heaven that we've talked about. Matt Campbell. Matt
Yeah,
Campbell going to USC, man.
let's
I
go.
think it has to happen. And like if I'm ranking these like, potential coaches on the move, there's no one that has the track record that Matt Campbell does. Like his success at Iowa State is unbelievable at this point. I'm probably am riding a little bit of the high of week 0 and watching the coaching job that I thought he did in Dublin. But at the same time, like Iowa State was nothing before, like they were a write-off many years in the Big 12 before Matt Campbell got there. Now they're a factor almost every single year. And like that's at a place like in Ames, Iowa. Imagine what he's going to be able to do when he has the resources turned up to 11. Like I could not possibly be higher on get someone bigger giving Matt Campbell a job.
I probably overlooked that a little bit, but that's okay.
No, it's all good, man. I overlooked Gus Bus, so like here we are.
Yeah. When we were in college, the two worst programs in the Big 12 going away were Iowa State and Kansas, and it wasn't close. Like
Yeah,
West Virginia was pretty weird at times. I'm trying to think who else. But K-State was really good. Oklahoma, Texas
yeah,
were really good. Baylor figured it out, but like Iowa State was just dog food. And then Matt Campbell goes in there, and like every couple of years, they're playing in Arlington. They're winning about 10 games. He's perfect for what USC needs. They need a mid guy with a Midwestern footprint who's going to bring the blue collar ethos back to Los Angeles. If he goes to USC, they will win 11 games and they will make the playoff in 2 years.
100%. Could not possibly agree more. And they were saying on the broadcast before the Dublin game yesterday, like Iowa State didn't win a bowl game until 2000. And like
Unbelievable.
I understand Matt Campbell came 16 years after that, but like that's the state of the program that they were in. Like 16 years prior to Matt Campbell being hired, they won their first bowl game as a program. And like Farmageddon goes back to 1917. Like this is like mind-boggling.
I know it's like before like Sage Rosenfels or Seneca Wallace and what Dan McCartney is their coach. Like this is historically a basketball school.
Right, 100%. And many times throughout history at nothing school, they weren't good
Yeah.
at anything.
They don't have a baseball team. I think they're one of like
Yeah.
six schools that don't have one in Power Four. It's like
Right.
them, Wisconsin, Colorado. There's somebody else, but like
Dude, Colorado having a baseball team would be fun as hell, though. Just hitting dingers in Boulder.
Joe Klatt, where you at?
They definitely like screw up the MLB draft like really hard. It'd be like this kid hit like 58 homers this season from Colorado.
He weighs a 160, man, but he's like, what's his name? Brady Anderson Jr.
That's right.
That guy had the best sideburns of all time.
Oh yeah. Oh, legendary.
Him and
Hall of Fame sideburns. Not much else though.
another guy who was really good around 96, Kerry Leidenberg of the Braves. That guy had some filthy
Hell
chops.
yes.
Okay, so a lot of guys, I don't think we had really any, we had other than Will Stein, I don't think we had any crossover, but I
Yeah.
can't really complain with anybody you had.
No, 100%. Like I mean, I went in here so we didn't talk too much like trying to pare it down to 5. It's very hard to pare it down to 5. There's a lot of good coaching candidates out there.
100%. Just like there is a lot of really good draft picks out here.
Mm.
And maybe the end of August, let's have a slice of pumpkin pie.
Yes, sir.
Some of our favorite draft picks. We haven't done this before. We usually do this more with like group of five because you don't want to be mean, but the new show, we're doing it now.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if we just have players. Let's just go. Who do you like a lot?
Yeah, these are just 5 guys that I like. There's only one prospect who I would have in the top 5, quite frankly, and we'll get there. But at number 5, I have a dude who we watched play in week 0, and that's the big citrus man, Dominique Orange, defensive lineman, Iowa State. 320 pounds of beef. And watching him yesterday against a pretty good Kansas State offensive line, dude was a monster. And like he was a monster last year. Like dude is just he's not gonna win any win any like Abdul Carter like type of draft awards for being the most explosive guy. He's too big for that. He's just he's a body eater. Like you're gonna have to get two guys to him, or he's gonna be in your backfield, and like that's a game changer. I think he has the potential to be a top 100 pick.
Hell yeah, just orange Iowa wine meat. This is I couldn't
And
be more.
again, one of the best nicknames you can think of, the Big Citrus. Like, come on.
The big citrus becomes Agent Orange. Like, yeah, this guy's gonna be all conference player. He's
100%.
so mine are a little more heavy hitters and stuff like that. I've got like five guys that aren't quarterbacks, and I can talk about quarterbacks later. But like, I think the world of Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love.
Mhm.
There's some. This is what CJ Spiller was when I was growing up.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's a really good comp.
Genty has a little bit of this too, but Genty, I think it's not the school difference, but I think Genty has a little more power
Yeah,
than I think Love does. But like Love's a little bit better, like a receiver out of the backfield. I kind of feel that like Spiller was a fantasy darling. Like give it 2 years, Jeremiah Love's gonna be a top 20 pick in your fantasy football league.
I mean, hell, Genty's going in the top 12 this year, so who's to say Jeremiah Love couldn't? Because I think it's in the cards.
Hell yeah! All
Uh,
right,
Number 4, I have Elijah Surratt, wide receiver of
yeah,
Indiana. Dude, I
yes.
freaking love Elijah Surratt. I'm not sure he's that fast. I'm not sure he's that athletic, but you know what he does? He doesn't drop the football and he catches it every time it's thrown to him. It's unbelievable. I don't like when you go back and you watch the Ohio State game from last year, the playoff game from last year, whenever the passing game was able to be functional, Elijah Surratt had no problem against high level defensive backs making plays. Like this dude is an NFL caliber wide receiver, NFL caliber frame, and like I think that we're going to see him put up some ridiculous numbers now that the offensive line and the quarterback play have improved for Indiana this year.
He's going to be a very high end wide receiver too in the NFL.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's guys out there like I see, like maybe the extreme high end is what I think George Pickens can be for your
yeah.
Cowboys. I think there's also stuff out there. I think there's a lot of Mohamed Sanu there too.
My the comp I'm kind of working for, and someone who obviously I know well from playing for the Cowboys. He reminds me a little bit of Miles Austin,
Yes.
and like just that type of big frame that is never going to have like a 1,500-yard season, but is going to flirt with 1,000 yards most years of his career in his prime.
Yeah. I look like a Pro Bowl player, but like your team wins 10 games annually because of him. Yeah,
And
he's gonna be
he's signing an $80 million contract after his fourth season. Like that's
oh
where
yeah.
he's going to end up being.
Yeah. Top like 60 pick for
Yeah,
sure.
100%.
Number four, I've also got a wide receiver. I've got probably the best wide receiver in this draft class. That's Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State.
Oh yeah. Oh, freaking love Jordan Tyson, man.
It's admittedly I haven't watched him as much as like Ryan Williams or Jeremiah Smith, but
Yeah.
there's things that Tyson does where like I don't know if there's really any other receiver in college football that really instills the fear in the defense collectively as much as he does.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like when you have a player like that. That's a game changer. Like I'm trying to think. Like if the Giants were to somehow get him with neighbors and get rid of Jalen Hyatt for the love of God, like that would really be huge for Dart and the Giants moving forward.
You know who he reminds me a little bit of in terms of I'm not sure that like there's anything he's like elite at, but he's like well above average at most things. He reminds me a little bit of Nico Collins,
There we go.
someone like who is never going to be probably like a superstar like among the big names, but also like produces at that level despite the fact that, but just doesn't get the credit for it. Like I could absolutely see that career for Jordan Tyson, which hey, you can become a rich man with that type of career because you know what you do, you help win football games.
Yeah, be a healthier version of Keenan Allen.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah, there we go. All right, three. Who do you got for three?
I got another wide receiver. Last wide receiver I have on here, but Denzel Boston out of Washington.
Yes.
Dude's just a monster. 6'4", 215. Like, give me the meat, but he moves well for that size, man. And like I feel like the calamity to some degree of Washington kind of led to Denzel Boston being overlooked last year. Like you had Kalen DeBoer and that entire staff leaving, all that they lost with, Adunze, Polk, and McMillan, losing Michael Penix and stuff like that, having Jed Fish come in. Like Washington just wasn't in the spotlight last year. But had they been, Denzel Boston would be a bigger household name than he is. But I think by end of the season, especially if Washington has the season that we think they're capable of, I think Denzel Boston's a household name, and people are going to enjoy watching him, man, because he's your prototype for what like I think he has wide receiver one upside in the NFL, quite frankly.
like when you talk about the best receivers in the Big Ten, it's Jeremiah Smith and Elijah Surratt, and then you get down to Boston pretty quickly. Not that much farther down. I think
No,
cousin Demond Williams, like that's gonna
yeah,
they might have the most like completions between each other of anybody in college in the Big Ten this year.
100%. Just feed him, man.
Feed him, man. And speaking about just feed him, man, I got Utah offensive tackle Spencer Fano.
He's been fed, brother.
There's just again, there's an aura about him. There's this presence. I think Kyle Whittingham's players, whether it's Andy Ludwig, Morgan Scalley on defense, like when you've got a guy who just seems to be about it
Yeah.
in the trenches for Utah, I'm very, very excited about that. Like, yeah, you may get some Star Lotulelei stuff, but even then, like he was a physical freak. He just didn't work out. Like Bradley and I was kind of like this too.
Yeah.
Like there's players like this for Utah, and I think if the Utes have the season that I think they're going to have with Devin Dampier, Fano is going to be a big part of that.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be a major part of it, especially with Dampier's running ability. Like
Mhm.
that's going to open that up quite a bit more.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
I've got another beefy boy at number two. My only top five prospect I have on here, but I just love the kid. Peter Woods at a Clemson defensive
S-
lineman.
Same. I got it too.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, dude is 315 pounds. And like, I legitimately, if I had to pick a comp for him, it's very clearly Calais Campbell to me. He's just a absolute monster of a human being that moves in a way that someone that size should not. And like that comp, that type of phrasing is thrown around with a lot of draft prospects. You don't see guys that are 315 moving the way Peter Woods does. Like he's 315 and can legitimately play on the edge at the NFL level. Like it's just absurd how talented this kid is. And I think we're going to see him like he's one of the many reasons why I'm high on Clemson. I like him more than TJ Parker though on the defensive front, just because like he's just a freak. He's an absolute freak. He's the fastest kid alive to quote Superbad.
I'll say some things about Peter Woods, and I'll say a thing about something that happened last night,
Okay.
which is related to super bad. So, yeah, anytime if you basically say Peter Woods is Calais Campbell play at Clemson instead of Miami, like that's about as good of a defensive lineman that's ever played at Clemson since like the fridge, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's
100%.
that guy's gonna cause some havoc in the ACC, and that's I can see why Clemson's your national champion, reluctantly, but it's a
I
good
mean,
pick for
look,
sure.
again, I'm not happy about it, but you got dudes everywhere.
Dudes everywhere. So in the festivities of last night, my friend James taught us like a game we play. It's called Fishbowl. You ever play Fishbowl?
Is it where you like put like a bunch of stuff in a like a bowl and you like pull it out and you have to like act it or
Yeah.
like just yeah, okay, yes. We do salad bowl. It's the same thing though.
Yes. So it's a three-part game where everybody gets like three or four
Yeah.
pieces of paper. You put it in a bowl, and you can do teams. You can do it individually. Your first round's taboo, and you can
Hmm.
basically describe it. But we do it so like you cannot pick your own in the first round just because you already know what it is. Second round's charades, and the third round is just one word. And Rosemary did like it was either that or Muhammad. It's the most common name on earth. And hearing her scream that at like 1 in the morning, every round was great.
Read an effing book. That's incredible. I love that.
I love that. And number one for me is my favorite prospect. This is the only guy in this draft who's not going to fail. That's Caleb Downs, safety at Ohio State. He's incredible.
He really is, man. I left him off here because I thought you might have him on here. I didn't want to gas him up too much, but he probably deserves it. He's unbelievable. I truly like if Caleb Downs wanted to, he could probably be Travis Hunter. I don't have any doubt in my mind that he has the athletic ability, the footwork, and the size to be able to be like a slot wide receiver.
I think he'd rather just be Eric Berry and get to the Hall of Fame. I think
100%.
I'll take his chances of getting to the Hall of Fame over Travis Hunter's every day, twice.
No.
So
I'm just speaking
yeah,
about his
yeah.
pure physical ability. I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
the best career path for him by any
No,
stretch of the imagination.
Caleb Downs, he's just out. There's a few safeties that come around every so often that they're just playing a different game than everybody else. It's like Ed Reed, Jesse Bates the third's doing that.
Minka in his prime.
Make it his prime. Bob Sanders very briefly.
Oh God, Bob Sanders, man, one of the best Madden players because Bob Sanders coincided right when Madden started introducing the hit stick, and it was great.
Your boy for the Cowboys, cousin Roy Williams is like
Cousin
that very
Roy,
briefly.
yeah. The other
Yeah.
cousin Roy. We got two cousin Roys in the family.
One who coaches ball and one who balls.
That's right. That's right.
All right, who's your number one?
Not a top five prospect, but top one in my heart. the goggles, baby. LaNorris Sellers. Come on, man. I'm so excited to watch LaNorris Sellers play. That's really what it comes down to. And jealous of you. You're going to be there in person to watch
Yeah.
LaNorris Sellers play in week one. Um, but man, nothing brings me joy like finding a player like LaNorris Sellers who every Saturday, like I'm just amped up to watch. And like, I don't think I really had that last year. I'm always going to be excited about college football because I love the sport, but like, I don't think there was one player where I was like, oh, so and so's like even Travis Hunter. I didn't feel that way. I'm a big Travis Hunter guy, but like it was like there were some Colorado games where I'm good. That's not going to be the case with any South Carolina game this season because when he's playing a good opponent, I think he's going to be able to cause them problems. When he's playing a bad opponent, I want to see someone just be so dominant. It's ridiculous.
I haven't felt this way about a non-Georgia player since Joe Burrow, and that was 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I watched like Drake May was probably the last one I felt this about. And like even by the end of the last season that Drake May was at North Carolina, I was like, I'm good because I can't watch this North Carolina team play anymore.
No, I mean I've been fortunate. I've had people like Stetson Bennett and Brock
Yeah,
Bowers, so yeah,
100%.
I've been pretty lucky. George Pickens was appointment television too, slugging Yellow Jackets in the end zone. God, I love
For
Pickens.
many reasons, he was appointment television. You didn't know if you were going to get NFL highlights or real world highlights, you know?
We are going to do this at some point. We're going to do our at some point in our time where we're going to do our overlap, like our TIN tens,
Oh, yeah.
Georgia, North Carolina, or Georgia, and then Falcons, Cowboys. Like if they played for like two of those three teams, like
Oh, yeah, 100%.
oh God. All right, it's pretty good. Yeah, I've been. You gave me. I left you LaNorris Sellers. You left me Caleb Downs, and this is
Yeah,
false start.
that's right.
Didn't talk anything. Well, you did talk about a quarterback.
I talked about one. Yeah, one.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about quarterbacks here, but let's move
We,
on
we,
to
we're going to talk a lot about the quarterbacks throughout the season.
let's be fair with that, and let's move on to our penultimate topic here with some TIN 10.
Yes, sir.
10 questions that you and I want answered based on the season ahead, and hopefully we get some clarity here. You go first. What's your 10th most important question?
Who's the home wrecker? And by that I mean last year we saw teams like Indiana and SMU get into the playoff, and like no one was really projecting that coming into the season. Who's that going to be this year? Is it Oklahoma? Is it Indiana again? Is it Florida? Is it Georgia Tech? Is it Michigan? Is it Illinois that crashes the party? Like, who's going to be the team that like you might not be taking seriously as a playoff contender, but that come middle of the season, we're like, oh damn, we probably do need to take this team a little bit more seriously.
I think it might be Baylor.
I mean, you're not wrong. It absolutely could be Baylor.
Uh, Depending on what happens in Atlanta, maybe it's the Syracuse Orange. They played the toughest schedule in the ACC by far.
Dude, it's wild. Fran Brown, I hope he cooks. I hope he cooks.
This is how we do it. And number 10, I got a guy that I don't know if he cooks or makes biscuits or bagels, but is Kalen DeBoer really running the show at Alabama?
Yeah. I have an Alabama related question coming.
It's kind of more tongue in cheek. Like, of course he is, but to what degree is he going to like take accountability and not delegate so damn much?
Yeah. With his what 50, 53, 54 coordinators that he has walking around there.
The uncircumcised A on their head, that stands for accountability, not Braves.
That's right.
That's making the show. Who cares?
Absolutely. I would never cut that out. What are you talking about?
No, it's not kosher. Okay, number nine.
Number 9, can any team in the Big 12 separate themselves? I've talked about this a lot, but like, is there like I think Arizona State is the best candidate to do it, but I'm still not like supremely confident that they're going to be able to. Like, I just think that so much of the top of the Big 12 is homogenous, and more importantly, so much of that homogenous blend is based on a lot of volatility. That's why I like Arizona State because I think they have the least amount of volatility of any of the top teams. But like, is any team going to actually separate themselves in the Big 12, or are we going to be back in the same scenario we were last year, where the Big 12 champion would have been one of the lower seeds in the college football playoff if not for the automatic buys.
Great question. I didn't have this on here, but like we need to get some sort of power broker at the top.
Yeah.
It may serve the Big 12 for it to be Arizona State right now,
Yeah.
or maybe it's somebody who wins the league this year and then repeats next year, or maybe Arizona State wins it in 2 years. The point is, we need to have people to replace Oklahoma and Texas at the top of the league for this league to be taken as seriously as it should be.
Agreed. 100%.
At number nine for me, does Ohio State have the wherewithal to repeat? They've
Mm.
never repeated it in our lives. This is one of the teams, like, if you had to pick five teams to win a national championship, they're going to be on our short list.
Mhm.
I'd probably have them as the most likely team to win a national championship in my estimation. Maybe you not so much, but like they've got a lot of talent, but they got to reload not just on the roster, but the coaching staff. The schedule's not easy.
No, it's definitely not. And I'll get to my Ohio State question. It's coming.
What you got at eight?
At 8, I've got something about your dogs. I got, does Gunnar Stockton keep Georgia moving or make it an uphill battle? He is an unknown commodity. I don't think that's unfair to say. And I love this Georgia roster. I think they're supremely talented, but I do wonder if it's a situation where that defense is having to overcome an offense that's not really working at peak capacity because of Gunnar Stockton. And that's not going to be every week. He's too talented of a player and there's too many talented players around him. But when he has a dud, how frequent are those duds? How frequent are like the games where the defense is really just fighting an uphill battle and trying to win the game without having the ball?
Yeah, it's like, is he going to be 22 Stetson Bennett or 21 Stetson Bennett?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally different players. But if
Yeah,
he's like
right.
21, you can win a national title. 22, you can't. You certainly can.
You just have to
But
thread a
yeah,
needle if it's the 21 version though. Like
yes,
it makes the journey a hell of a lot difficult. Well, a lot more difficult, excuse me.
right there with you. Yeah. At number eight for me, what will be the biggest and best power forward job to open up?
Mm.
There's some jobs that I think are going to open up. I think Maryland's the one of the most confident in. Stanford, obviously, the Stanford's not really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stanford's its own tier. I mean, losing to Hawaii. But the number one, like Virginia might be a really, really enticing job. And that's not even accounting for places like traditional powers like USC or Michigan potentially opening up.
Yeah, Auburn as well, obviously,
Mhm.
potentially. Yeah, no, that's a good question for sure.
All right, who you got at seven?
At 7, going back to my LSU love, how much will the defense improve via the transfer portal and how quickly will that happen? Because again, my theory is that early in the season, we see it kind of look a little discombobulated, gets better as the year goes on. But I'm like, I don't know that. That's just my guess. That's my prognostication. And I obviously, much like it has the past 2 years, that's going to determine what LSU's ceiling is, quite frankly. We know the offense is going to hum. It hummed with Jaden Daniels. It hummed last year with Garrett Nussmeier. It's going to keep humming with Garrett Nussmeier again this year. Can the defense get you to a college football playoff level?
Maybe. I'm a little skeptical, but
Yeah,
that's the right question there. Mine's very straightforward. Can LaNorris Sellers win the Heisman Trophy?
he can. He absolutely can.
Put them goggles on. Just
That's
go.
right.
It's just ants out there on the play sheet. I'm just going.
Clear-eyed view with the goggles, baby.
I wonder if he knows who God, who was it? Who was the receiver that played for the Baltimore Colts that caught passes from Johnny Unitas?
Brother, I have no idea.
Uh, he used to wear like X-ray specs and play because he's like,
Hell yes.
so I can see good. All right, who do you got at six?
At 6, it's also a simple question. How good is Will Stein, man? Like, we know he's a good coordinator, but how good is he to not have someone like Bo Nix or Dylan Gabriel anymore? Someone with full seasons worth of starts under their belt coming in. Dante Moore has half a season at UCLA in a situation that was dog water. Like, how good is he? And honestly, that's going to determine what Oregon is this season because we know the talent's there on defense. We know the talent is around him on offense, but we've seen what this Oregon team looks like. If the quarterback's not working, it doesn't matter. And so, like, I want to see how good of a developer he is at quarterback.
I gotta be straight with you. Like if you had to have me pick out Will Stein in a lineup, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I have no idea what the man looks like.
No, I just know he's good,
I
apparently.
know he's the offensive coordinator of Oregon, and I've watched the Oregon offense. I've seen, you know what? Let's say it this way. We don't know what he looks like, but we can identify his thumbprint because we've seen the
Yes.
offense.
He's Bigfoot.
That's right. That's right.
Will Bigfoot Stein.
Hell yes. He's in Oregon too. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Or Squatch.
That's right.
Squatch time.
We got Dan and Squatch here at the podium after the game.
It's the guy. He's the guy from Jack Links. That's Will Stein. What's that like that show Greek? It's like who's Joshua Whopper? That's he's just a Sasquatch. I love this. We have so many great nicknames for people.
Oh God, yeah.
And my next one has something to do with the guy who's got a nickname. Is James Franklin going to be anything more than the driver this year?
Yeah. It's a big one.
It's a big one. I bet he drives with his flashers on in the rain.
Oh, 100%. The worst kind of people do that stuff, but absolutely.
I mean, other than wearing like a fleur-de-lis, like Saints thing on the back of your car, there's no better way to say that you're not from Atlanta than having your flashers on in the rain.
Oh yeah, 100%. No doubt about it. Now, if you want to be from Atlanta, turn your flashers on in the snow because no one knows how to drive in the snow in that city.
No, no. All right, five.
At five, this is my Alabama question. Was it Jalen Milroe or Kalen DeBoer that held Alabama's offense back, in addition to not having Ryan Grubb as well? Because if it was Jalen Milroe and we get Ty Simpson and Grubb and DeBoer are able to unlock this offense again, then Alabama's we're going to look dumb for not having Alabama in our playoff. My lead is that it is more of a Kalen DeBoer and this staff problem than it is a personnel problem. I also don't think Ty Simpson's that good, but regardless, if it is like if the coaching is as good as they think they are, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. I mean, we'll look dumb for not having them in there, but like we have our reasons for that. I think it's
Yeah.
not uncommon.
No, 100%.
It's not as common as Muhammad, but it's like
No, nothing is.
number five for me. What job will John Summerall have in 2026?
That's a good question.
I have
I'm
no
excited
idea.
to find out the answer and be all in on them in the 2026 season. I can tell you that.
He doesn't have a job. He just Jack Kerouac's in everyone's ass.
He just shows up and starts coaching.
He just goes into the wild like Alexander Supertramp.
That's right.
Um, thank God for the internet, right?
Right. Amen, brother. Amen.
All right, number four.
My Ohio State question. And this, honestly, this is why I'm becoming more dubious of Ohio State. I'm still questions about the quarterback, but are Brian Hartline and Matt Patricia good enough?
That's fair.
Because I don't know. And frankly, I don't think so. And when I look at this coordinator duo, and I also think about what they had last year to get over the hump to win a national championship and how these two compare to that, it is night and freaking day, man. Like we've seen a Brian Hartline led offense and we had some problems with it. We had some issues with it. It did not look that good. We've got a history with Matt Patricia as an NFL coordinator and head coach, and like, man, it sure looked like Bill Belichick did a lot of the defensive stuff that he got credit for when he became the head coach of the Lions. And like, I'm not sure that this is going to work out when you're downgrading from Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles.
I think that's totally fair. That's why ultimately the reason why I have Georgia beating Ohio State in the
Yeah,
national championship is the three-headed monster in Athens of Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, and Glenn Schumann better than the three-headed monster of Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, and Matt Patricia? I think so.
yeah, 100%.
Okay, that was four. Was that four for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's four for me.
Four for me is how does replacing Joe Castiglione impact Brent Venables' job security?
Mm. We both think not favorably. I can tell you that right now.
I think it keeps our fan-sided colleague Dakota Gregory up at night every night.
100%.
Some people are trying to pay bills. He's trying to figure out what's going to happen with Castiglione.
He's like Charlie Kelly and It's Always Sunny with the board, like Castiglione, Castiglione.
I don't know if you saw this, but like I think John Mateer pretended to like have like a firearm with like a beagle or a dog, and
Yeah,
then Dakota did it with him and his wife's dog.
dude, Dakota's a character, man. We got to get him on the program.
100%. He's like, yeah, with the money line Mateer.
Money line Mateer, baby.
I mean, he's in his bag, dude. Like the Thunder won the NBA Finals. He's thriving,
Oh
brother.
yeah, he's feeling good.
Yeah. All right, who got a three?
Three. I got a question about my national champion pick. Can Clemson avoid Clemsoning? Because that would be great for my personal brand and what I'm going after this year and the predicting. But let's be real about it. Clemson has a lot of the same players they had last year. They got their doors blown off by a Louisville team last year in the
Yeah.
regular season. And like, I think Clemson, the maturity you level up as you're with the program more, like that's the Clemson DNA that Dabo Swinney wants to have. And so I'm buying into that. At the same time, it is hard for me to have like full 100% confidence in that when I saw some of the things I saw last year. Like, I don't, if Clemson can stay out of their own way, they have the talent in the roster to not lose a game this season.
And
But
that's yeah.
will they stay out of their own way? That's the question.
And that's what I have them losing to do because I think that
Yeah.
that's they have it in them. Like they kind of Clemson versus Georgia last year. Georgia wasn't the same after losing like Michael Williams for
Yeah.
and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Clemson's like if you can keep it on the what's the opposite of like the driver? Like what's Dabo? Dabo's the conductor. He's on a train
Yeah,
track.
yeah. He's got to make the right switch, like on the train tracks.
Do you want to kill one person or five?
That's right.
Uh,
Moral dilemma right here.
I wonder if he could do politics. I don't think we want him to do this.
I mean, I
Okay.
think I think he thinks he can do politics. How about that?
Same with Senator Tuberville. Was
Amen,
supposed
brother. Amen.
And speaking about a guy who may have to go home and get a job, for number three is will the Matt Rule pop year happen?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're higher on that happening than I am.
Yeah, I think I've got Nebraska going 9-3, which
Yeah,
is about what you would have done like at Temple and Baylor.
agreed, 100%. I have them probably going 7-5, 8-4, which I still
That's
think is a
fair.
good season.
Yeah. All right. Number two.
Number two, does Drew Aller take the next step? Because I honestly, I don't have a ton of faith in James Franklin, but I still think it comes down to Drew Aller, man. Like I said it in the Penn State LSU matchup. Like going into the season, despite all of the hype, despite this being the window of opportunity for Penn State, it really comes down to me and like based on what I've seen to this point, I'm gonna trust another quarterback over Drew Aller a lot of the time when you talk about the elite levels of college football. And like I know he's talented. That's never been in question, but I need him to show that on the field and take the next step. Now he's got all the opportunities. You've got a better wide receiver core. You have an offensive line that's still there. You have a running back duo that's a huge advantage for a quarterback. Can you take advantage of it? And that's going to, like, to me, more so than James Franklin, that's going to determine what Penn State does this year.
Look, does Drew Aller want to be as beloved as everybody in Minnesota loves JJ McCarthy for some reason? Or do you want him to be another guy who grew up in Exurb, Cleveland, like Mitchell Trubisky?
Yeah. God, shouts North Carolina, man.
We'll have a whole pod dedicated to your thoughts on Mitch Trubisky.
We might need to. Might be a two-parter.
The rise in the fall.
That's right.
And we may have to do that for my number two. How good will Arch Manning be?
Oh, damn, that's my number one. Literally verbatim. How good will Arch Manning be?
I don't think he's going to be winning the Heisman Trophy or going to the NFL. I think there will be roadblocks. I have Texas losing two games this regular season at Ohio State and at Georgia. If he plays well versus Florida, then you got to play well in one of those three games at least. So, and then you got to get above 30 starts this year. If you win the national championship, you go from 2 to 18. So you need a little more time.
No, I agreed 100%. Really, when I look, like you mentioned it earlier, we like the baseline of Texas is based off of their defense and the offensive talent around Arch Manning. The ceiling of Texas is based on what Arch Manning is. If
Yes,
Arch Manning shows up and frankly does not have a learning curve, Texas is probably winning the national championship. Let's be
100%.
very real
Yeah.
about that. But like we don't know that. And like no one knows that. Like we know he's talented. We know what the recruiting pedigree is. We know what his last name is. But when push comes to shove, we've barely seen him play college football in a meaningful capacity. We probably haven't at this point because your two starts were not exactly meaningful games. Like Texas probably could have sleptwalked through those games with you or I at quarterback and still been able to find a way to win. So when I look at this, it really like what Arch Manning is and how good he is defines Texas's ceiling.
Yeah, I think he can get to places that Georgia can't get to with Gunnar Stockton or Julian Sand at Ohio State, but like we're just praising Arch Manning like infinitely more than we are with Sand and Stockton, even though they're all in similar situations.
Yep.
And then my number one, is this the end of the line for Lincoln Riley at USC?
I,
Gotta,
I should have had a Lincoln Riley question on here. Damn.
I hope so. I feel like this is there's just some like the Yankees need to get rid of Aaron Boone, the Braves need to get rid of Brian Stitker, the Steelers need to get rid of Mike Tomlin, and USC needs to get rid of Lincoln Riley. I'm sure there's other coaches out there. You've come full circle on Alex Cora, but it will come back at some point.
Look, that's just Red Sox fandom, baby. We're it's a 162 game season. We're gonna have a lot of different feelings around here.
Yeah, but I'm just so done with the Lincoln Riley regime. It's
Yeah.
like it's warping people that are USC fans' minds in ways that like it's just extreme bargaining all the time. I'm tired of this. I want to see them get a guy. I want to see them get their next Pete Carroll. I think it's Matt
Yeah.
Campbell.
I,
Just go
I
once.
as do I. As do I. And I mean, for the for the mental health of our colleague Alicia Diartola Castillo, would love to see Lincoln Riley, move on. Go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Go coach at Arkansas. Let's see that. Why not?
Go do literally anything else except for let me rephrase that because I realize I opened myself up to pain. That does not involve the Dallas Cowboys. Don't do
Or,
that.
or the Atlanta Falcons. I don't
Yes,
want
yes,
no
yes. How
no.
now? If he were to take, let me ask you this, just as a hypothetical. Mike Bobo either gets a job or gets the axe. Would you take him as Georgia's offensive coordinator?
I'd take me over my offensive coordinator. It's not going to work. Like
Fair.
it's all pro style. The only guy like you got to have somebody like Lane Kiffin or more. Like I take Loxley. Like there's stuff there that works.
Yeah.
Like Maryland's receivers, like they're tough. They play
Oh
really
yeah.
hard. Like there's the
Loxley would
Maryland.
actually be a great fit.
Yeah. Like you got to have something that basically lines up very well with like a Saban or Belichick type of defensive minded coach. So like Loxley would be my first
Yeah.
call.
He's going to be the North Carolina offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Frick.
No, you got to get out Josh McDaniels. Mike,
Oh
Mike,
my
Mike,
God.
Mike Vrabel's gonna stuff him in a locker.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
He gives him already used dip.
Just throws it at him.
And when Mike Vrabel says he's getting that dip thrown at him or thrown at somebody, he's like, the less I know, the better.
That's right.
You're not ready for that. Okay.
No.
We're gonna get out of here pretty quickly. Every time we get to a different part of the season where one chapter is closing, another one begins, we ask ourselves the same three Tame Impala based questions of, what I got the most right, what did I learn the most, and what am I going to keep getting wrong? This is all going to apply to basically everything we know about college football since the end of spring practice up until week one. So, what did you get the most right?
Not trusting Joey Aguilar. Um, he like from all reports, it doesn't seem like it was a runaway for him to win the Tennessee starting job. And for someone with his experience level against two guys who have zero experience, despite how talented they are, that I mean, like I feel very validated in the fact that I looked at the Joey Aguilar edition and I was like, "You sure? We doing this? Like that's what you're going with?" And like I would have to imagine there's some people in that Tennessee building that probably feel the same way.
There's people up there in Knoxville that really like George McIntyre.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
He's raw, but I mean, like the talent is far and away better than Joey Aguilar.
I think that's fair. What I got the most right? Nobody, not a soul, views Oregon in the same vein as Ohio State or Penn State in the Big Ten.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's a combination of we don't know what Dante Moore is at quarterback.
Mhm.
We just the way that Oregon lost in the Rose Bowl, like that was probably the most damning loss I think anybody had in college football last
One
year.
of the
It was
most
like,
pitiful things I've ever seen.
yeah, like it's Colorado losing at Oregon with Deion Sanders' first year there, but this was way worse because Colorado didn't have the talent then. Like that was especially bad. Like this is you're in the league. You chose to go to the Big Ten to be a part of this, and you weren't ready for it. And I think people are kind of like, uh, they keep saying Oregon's like this new blood and everything else like that. And everyone's like, I bet you win something for
Yeah.
once in your life.
I mean, if you really want to talk about it, like Indiana in the regular season looked better against Ohio State than Oregon did in the playoff. And like I understand they're different stages, different things, but like Indiana's defense at least like slowed down Ohio State. It was a freaking track meet for the Buckeyes against the Ducks.
100%. I love R2 here. What did you learn the most?
I think I'm going more ethereal with this one because I have two teams in mind when I'm thinking about this, so I don't want to tie it to just one team, but let the offseason play out a little bit more before you're making sweeping declarations about things. And I'm thinking specifically about two teams that we were low on that we've kind of come around on, which is Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
Yes.
Like early in the offseason, we were looking, okay, look at what Ole Miss lost. Like, look at everything that we're seeing here. And like, just basing most of our opinions on that. Like, there's no way you're replacing all of this talent. Well, we also didn't like factor in the talent that they were able to keep, the talent that they had behind them, the talent that they were able to bring in. And now you look at this Ole Miss roster and you also look at the schedule in front of them, and it's like, oh, we both have the Rebels in our college football playoff. And like,
Yeah.
if you'd have told us that in March, we probably would have told you were like out of your mind. And
Yeah.
so, like, and then with Oklahoma, apologies again to Sooners fans who came after us because we were like, burn this program to the ground, like fire Brent Venables before the 2025 season. And now we're looking at it after the Mateer and Arbuckle additions, Jaden Zach Ott coming in, and we're looking at him and we're like, the schedule might hurt them in the long run, but this is going to be a team that's in every game that they play. Like they're not going to be a pushover. They're not going to be a joke in the SEC like they were a year ago.
I love that. We're learning things. That was another thing that I learned. For me, mine's a little ethereal, not as much as yours is, but I think I was just kind of amazed at how much people are really willing to overlook some major issues with programs like Texas. Like
Yeah.
that in particular, there may be other ones out here. All offseason long, we're like, okay, Penn State and Clemson, like this is the year it's going to happen. But then, you look at like Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, which I kind of view in the same cluster of like reloading. Like people are more inclined to give Texas the benefit of the doubt than with Georgia or Ohio State. And maybe they're doing with this other programs too on different levels here. But I'm like, just the idea of the shiny and new and Arch Manning, it's like Sark kind of gets a little tight in big spots.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win in Athens. You got to win at Gainesville. You got to win at Red River. You got to win in Columbus, and then you got to win in Atlanta. And it's like your schedule was a cakewalk a year ago compared to this one. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that like this isn't just about Texas, but it's like this is the Texas basically probably embodies that more this year. I'm surprised Ohio State wasn't ranked one or Penn State wasn't ranked one, and either the coaches, the A people. It was just it was just Texas across the board. I'm like, that could work out or that could blow up in their face.
100%.
Yeah, I love that. And then
Yeah.
what are you going to keep getting wrong?
There's a lot I'm going to keep getting wrong. Let's be clear about this.
Fair.
I'll follow LaNorris Sellers to the ends of the earth, brother. Like, I don't care if South Carolina starts, like, they could lose to Virginia Tech and I'd be like, I don't care. They're still making the College Football Playoff. I'm not backing down. Like, there's a lot of reasons when you look at the schedule, when you look at what they lost on defense, there's a lot of reasons not to believe in South Carolina. I don't care because
That's
LaNorris Sellers is that damn good. And I like Shane Beamer as a head coach.
and Ohio State won a national title after losing week one to Virginia Tech. Never forget that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Never rule it out. I mean, was a different Virginia Tech team. Let's be clear about that. But
Michael Brewer, eat your heart out, I guess.
I mean, look, we're not talking about our boy Brent Pry having a job after this season. So I think it's a little different.
No, we were talking about Frank Beaver had a statue.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Statue or job?
Statue or job? Which do you want in question?
Amen, brother. What I am gonna keep getting wrong? I'm gonna continue to overrate how good I think the top of the Big 12 is gonna be coming into the season.
Mm, yeah.
Like I had Arizona State at the 5 seed. My first team out was Utah. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I love both going 11-1. Like what am I doing?
I was trying to think of something for the Big 12 because I feel like something you're going to keep getting wrong has to do with the Big 12 at this point, just because like that conference is so chaotic. Like it truly, it's the Pac-12 is the conference of champions. The Big 12 is the conference of chaos. Like it,
Yes.
and like It's true. It's ubiquitous across the two major college sports too. Basketball, chaotic as hell. Football, chaotic as hell. And like, I feel like one of us is going to end up being wrong about the Big 12. I don't know. Like, I don't have any confidence on which one of us is going to be wrong.
Why say no when it feels so good to
That's
say yes? This was episode 203 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review if you like her. Put a ring here. Do that.
right. That's right.
Smash that subscribe button like I did some hot dogs on Friday night.
Absolutely. The original meat sleeve.
The original meats. Hit that like button like Rocco Beck throwing a pass.
Dude, God. It was an ugly game in Dublin we got yesterday, man.
Well, I can't wait to hear about Antonio. I think the worst part about it all is he just came back covered in not just hair but grass.
Yeah, it's grass stained hair.
He looks like he's going to be on how to what the protected predator, how to catch a predator show.
In fairness, that's kind of the vibe. He's not actually a predator, but he gives off the vibe that he could be.
He could be. He might be. He is. Because this is False Start.